The Democrats and Republicans are always diminishing the expectations of the American people and diminishing their own sense of possibility by saying change can't happen. Change will never happen. It's impossible. Will not happen.
This is a very impure country. It is in many ways a conservative country. It's not a country in which a reasonable person can wait for the cavalry of the non-voters to ride out of the canyon to rescue us. This is the country that has elected the likes of Richard Nixon. It has elected the Bushes. It elected Ronald Reagan. It is not the country that's waiting for left-wing purity before it rouses itself to save the world.
I'm not being coy here. I actually wouldn't describe my views as idealistic particularly. I would say this is what I learned about America. I was a reporter for all those years, trotting around here and there, high places, low places, very poor people, middle class, very wealthy people. And without making distinguishing among those, people in this country are pretty capable. There's some fools and some scoundrels and so forth and so on, but on the whole, it's a pretty good group of people. They are utterly underused as citizens.
The major parties ask them to vote for the person who's going to win. That's what the major parties' claim is on election day. Why would you vote for a person who's not going to win?
What you have to understand, there is a classic debate which needs to be ongoing, which must never end, which creates a tension which is hugely creative. And that is the debate between those who say, we've got to settle for the best we can get, and those who say, I have a breaking point. There's a certain point at which I'm not going to stay with this party any longer. And if you don't have some people willing to do that, then there's no limit to how debased the party will get. Take a look at where we are. The Democratic Party today is less progressive in its social policies and its political policies than Richard Nixon. You can look it up.
You know, the Democratic Party is not something that needs to be defended, and I certainly would not defend the lock that the Democrats and the Republicans have on the electoral apparatus. It's a bad thing. It was not worth, to demonstrate that, it was not worth electing George W. Bush.
We have to choose between someone like Ralph, who for many of us represents the ideal of the country, the ideal of the way the system ought to work. I don't know, it's very rare that I ever disagree with him on almost anything, but I'm not going to vote for him. I'm not going to vote for him now. I didn't vote for him in 2000 because he is the enemy of the second best.
Well, that never entered the heads of the Founding Fathers, that could possibly work as a campaign argument. You are going to vote to express what you think and the directions you think the government should go. And if you think more like Ralph Nader than you think like Al Gore, you are doing yourself a disservice by not expressing yourself in the one moment the democracy gives you to be recorded. To not express yourself accurately makes you a politician, not a voter.
And when can we run? When can our candidate run? When can we bring a progressive candidate to the presidential derby? And do we have to put our hats in our hand and call upon you, Mr. Democratic Party member, and ask your permission? Is your candidate strong enough this year, Mr. McAuliffe or Governor Dean, so that we can have a third party? Oh, please give us permission. That is not the way democracy is supposed to work.